Everyone, welcome back to the Win React JS machine coding interview playlist. In this video, we are going to talk about one of the extreme popular interview question, this folder structure in React. This type of questions are extremely popular in companies like Razorpay, Swiggy, and many other product-based companies. You are not expected to write just working code, but you are expected to write scalable, component-based, and clean code. So let's get started. So here is the overview of the problem. So we have one folder in which we can have multiple files. Just like in VS Code, you have folders and file structure. We have to implement that in React. Like a folder can have inner folder as well, right? And the inner folder can also have the inner folder as well, right? You got it. So we have to implement it. So how can we do that? So as an initial thought, what we can do is we can create two types of nodes in this tree. So it is a tree, right? Because a node can have multiple children. So here you can see this folder has this file, this folder, and this folder as children. So this is a kind of a tree problem. So how can we solve this? So there are two types of nodes, or you can say a node can be either a branch or a leaf. So this file is a leaf, right? Because it doesn't have any more branches. But this folder is a branch. So it has many other branches associated with it, right? So that's how we can tackle this problem. So let's get back to the code editor and let's see how we can code this. Okay, so let's shift itself here. Okay. Yeah, so let's get started. So here is a basic React app setup and we'll start with the coding part of this. So this is completely written in TypeScript. So we will have to create the interfaces for the props and whatever data that we are going to integrate. I have taken one sample mock data here. You can also take the screenshot of this and create your own mock data for this and play with it. So we have the folders in which there are three properties: the name, if it is a folder or file. If it is a folder, each folder will be true, and there is a children. So children is nothing but the nested children, and it has the same data types inside it. So that's a basic mock data we have. So let's get started. What we will do, we'll start with creating a folder or tree of the folders. So we'll start by creating one component which will have two types of node, which will be the file or the leaf node, or it will have the same like this is folder, this is folder. So here is a recursion, if you understand this. So we will be visiting either a file or a folder. So if we are visiting a file, that means we have reached the base case of the recursion. But if we are visiting the folder, then we are going back into recursion. So that's the crux of this problem. So let's go to the code editor again. So we'll create folder one folder structure component in React. I hope it is visible. Folder structure. So we have created one component called folder structure. Okay. Okay. For the time being, let's reduce this size. Okay. So we have created one folder structure component and we have created props for it. So what folder structure will get as props? So as I have seen that we have to recursively call this function again, right? So what we'll do is we'll take the data node as a prop here. So data, so the type of data will be data, and the data interface will shortly define. So how to define the interfaces? So we can just look at the real data, and from that we can get the basic idea or skeleton of the data. So if you see, a data can have name property, can have is folder property, and can have children property. But what is the type of children? The type of children is nothing but it is the array of the same data, right? Because if you see here, it is again having the same properties, right? So that's why we'll create the data interface like this. So name, so the name obviously will be string, correct? We have is folder, so that will be either true or false. That means the type is boolean. And we have children, and the children is the array of the same data. So here in the interface, we can call it as array of data, right? But one thing to notice here, a folder can have files or may not have files, right? So for that, we'll make it as optional property using this question mark. Okay, so we have set up the data types here, and so we'll start the coding part of this. So we'll get the data destructured from the props. Okay, so here we are getting the data destructured from the props, and from the data, what we can do is we can grab is folder, because that is required for rendering of the tree. Okay, now there are two logics here. If it's file, if it is folder. Okay, there are only two types of logic here. It can be either file or it can be folder. So let's start with the file part. So if it is not file, so it is negation of the is folder property, then the return file. Okay, so for showing the icon, I'll use emojis here without going into the complexity of any icon library, and the name of the file. So the name of the file is data dot name, right? Okay, so this is all about the file. So we have to just show the name of the file and icon. Okay, now what if it is a folder? So if it is a folder, then it will not go to this statement and it will go directly to the this part, and will return some JSX from here. Okay, and I'll provide the class name as folder here. Okay, so what we are going to do here is whenever there is a folder, okay, and it has some children, what we have to do is we have to show the name of the folder, okay, and we have to show the children of the folders. So as we have to that folder should be clickable, right? That folder should be clickable. For that, we'll add a one button here, so that we can click on it and we can toggle it on or off, right? For that, we'll need some state, so we'll make of component state using use state hook, and we can make it either open or close. So let's call it folder open, set folder open. Okay, let's import this, and the default value will be open. Okay, sorry, true, as we have to make it boolean, so we can pass the generic here as well. Okay, so that React will understand that this use state will always have the boolean value. Folder open, set folder open, true. Okay, that's fine. Now if it is a folder, so first thing what we have to do is we have to show its name. So let's go to the data, and yeah, okay, this is a folder. Okay, and we have the name as well. So and we have the children as well. So let's start with the name part. So we'll take one div here and we'll name it folder name. And what we can do is just like file, we'll use emoji here. Yeah, folder, and we'll use the data dot name here, because this time the data is folder, and in this if condition the data is file, so that's a difference here. Okay, so we have shown the data dot name as folder here, and the next condition, what we have to do is we have to show the children. Okay, we have to show the children. For each children we have to show the same tree, the same folder, same file structure we have to do. So what we can do, so suppose there are multiple, as children is an array, it 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 can have multiple children, right? So we need to map it. How do we render the list in React? Using map. Okay, array map. So let's do one condition here. If Okay, and we have taken the folder state here. So let's make use of that first. So if folder is open, okay, that's important. If the folder is open and okay, and if we have children, then what we will do? Then we'll do data dot children dot map. Okay, and here what we will get? We'll get the folder again, and let's return. So what we are doing is for every children we are returning this folder structure again. So that's recursion. Okay, so if it is not file and it is a folder and it has some children, then we have to revisit this case. So that's the recursive step here. Okay, so we'll call this folder structure component again, this same function. Okay, we are calling the same function or same component inside it. So that's recursion, and the data prop will pass as folder. Okay, you got the point. So we are doing the same thing again. So we are using the folder open here, but we haven't used the set folder open here. So we have to like toggle on and off state of that folder. So how we can do that? As I said, we'll use the button. Let's not use it as div, but we'll use it as button. Okay, and on clicking of it, we'll toggle it off. On click, toggle folder open. Okay, that's a good name. Yeah, so here we will declare this handler. So it will just basically toggle the state. If previous is true, then it will become false, otherwise it will be true. So that's the toggle folder open. Yeah, okay, and we have exported this folder. And okay, so let's import this folder into our app component. Folder structure, and we have to pass the data from, right? So the data can be passed from here, folders. Okay, so let's refresh this. So there you go. We have this folder structure and we have created one tree of folders and files here. Of course, it is not well styled, but yeah, we'll do it in a short while. So what we can do with it is we'll align the folders to the left and the files with some indent. So let's do that. So if you just go to the folder structure, so we have assigned some class names here, and we have the CSS in the app.css, right? So let's do one thing. First, what we will do is we'll align the folder and the file to the right, to the left. Let's keep it as it is. Folder, comma. Okay, so let's split it. So you can see that it is left aligned now. And for file, we'll add some indentation. Okay, so indentation is nothing but it will have some margin left, maybe 14 px. Okay, now even more, 24. Okay, great. And for folders as well, we'll add that margin, so that because this source is a children of root, but it is looking at the same level, right? So we'll have to add margin to that also, right? So now it is looking at folder structure. And what else we can do? We can add the indentation lines. So let's try that. Border left, 1 pixel solid gray. Okay, great. Yeah, so we have the lines as well, so we can collapse or expand these folder structure and we can open it. Okay, great. So yes, we have solved this problem. If you like this video, just hit like and subscribe to my channel. If you want more such videos, let me know in the comments, and do watch the complete playlist of React machine coding. And that's it for today. Bye bye.